I always thought marriage was meant to be a soft place to land, a refuge from the world, not another source of chaos. But over the past year, things with my wife, Juniper, had shifted. It felt like walking across fragile ice and pretending the cracking sounds were only in my imagination. She used to laugh at everything, this gentle, almost bashful laugh that had drawn me to her in the first place. Slowly, though, the laughter faded. Her smiles became rare, her patience thin. Even the smallest things set her off. I tried talking. I tried listening. I tried giving her space. None of it seemed to melt whatever coldness had grown between us. Her new circle of friends didn't help. There was Arlo, the co-worker who called her June in a way that tightened my gut. Then Aloan, who always went on about powerful women leaving average men behind. And that hobby group she joined, a cluster of people who spoke of marriage like it was a trap instead of a promise. I kept telling myself it was temporary, a phase she'd grow out of. But deep down, I felt a storm gathering, one I wasn't sure I could escape. Then, one Friday evening, I walked into the kitchen. Juniper stood at the counter with her arms folded, her expression unreadable. A stack of pristine papers rested on the table. I didn't have to read the bold print to know what they were. Divorce papers. Our names printed side by side like the whole of our life together could be reduced to typed lines and legal boxes. My chest tightened. For a moment, I couldn't even breathe. She didn't blink. "Maybe this will make you take things seriously, Kale," she said, her voice calm, almost bored. "Maybe now you'll finally listen." "Listen to what?" I asked, trying to keep my voice even though my heart was thundering. "You barely talk to me anymore." She shrugged, eyes drifting away from mine. "You don't fight for me. You don't make big romantic gestures. You think just being here is enough." She nudged a pen toward me. "Maybe watching you panic will remind you what you're about to lose." Something inside me gave way. Not anger. Not fear. Just exhaustion. The kind that comes from trying for too long with nothing to show for it. I looked at her, really looked, and saw not my partner, but someone pushing me, provoking me, just to see how I'd react. Someone using our marriage like a test she expected me to fail. And in that moment, I realized I didn't want to keep playing along. So I picked up the pen. She smirked, already triumphant. "Good. Now maybe you'll." "I'll sign," I said quietly. And I did. Every page. Slowly. Deliberately. Without a single tremor. Her smirk vanished, dissolving as quickly as sugar dropped into warm water. She stepped back, eyes widening, lips parting. Pure shock. "Kale," she breathed, her voice suddenly stripped of its confidence. "Wait. You didn't even hesitate." "You wanted me to panic," I said, placing the pen down. "But I'm done being terrified of losing someone who doesn't seem to want to stay." Color rose to her face, anger, confusion, hurt, all tangled together. "That's not. You were supposed to stop me. You were supposed to refuse." "That isn't what marriage is," I replied softly. "I can't keep trying to convince you to love me." For the first time in months, she looked unsure, actually unsure. Her gaze flicked to the papers, and she reached toward them before pulling her hand back like they were hot to the touch. "I didn't think you'd really sign," she said. I needed to know you cared enough to fight." "That isn't fighting," I said. "And it isn't love." The air tightened around her words. "That's manipulation." The room went so still I could make out every tick of the clock above the refrigerator. She stared down at the papers as if they were something volatile, something that might explode if she breathed wrong. And strangely, instead of panic, a cool, steady clarity settled over me. Not relief, but an untangling of knots I hadn't realized were choking me. Juniper trailed after me as I moved toward the door. "Kale, wait. Please. I didn't mean it. I felt like you were drifting away." I turned back. I wasn't drifting. I was suffocating. Her eyes shone, and for a second she looked like the Juniper I'd fallen in love with. Soft, unsure, achingly human. "Then let me fix it," she whispered. "Please. If you walk out now, I'll tear up the papers. I'll do anything. Just don't leave like this. I don't want a divorce." Then why push me toward one? I asked quietly. I thought you'd finally show some fire, she said, voice small. Like you used to. Before everything got dull. Before we got normal. Normal isn't a flaw, June, I said. But making me feel replaceable is. She stepped closer and reached for my hand, but I stayed where I was. Her fingers hovered in the empty space between us, trembling. I love you, she said. I swear I do. I just got turned around. I let people get in my head. They told me you weren't enough, and I believed them. But you are. You always have been. Part of me wanted to believe her fully. Another part, quiet, battered, patient for too long, knew words weren't enough anymore. Then start showing it, I said. Not with dramatic moves. With truth. With effort. With respect. She nodded so fast it almost broke me. Tears streaming down her face. I can do that. I will. Please don't let this be the end of us. I inhaled slowly. It doesn't have to end today. But it can't keep going the way it was. A shaky breath escaped her, relief flooding her expression. I'll make it right. I swear. I didn't make any promises in return. But I stayed, not because she cornered me into fighting, but because, for the first time in a long time, she stopped trying to corner me at all.